Hello and a very good morning to everyone. Welcome to the daily current affairs analysis of the Shankar IAS Academy, and today's video is for the date of 24th of July 2025. So these are the topics for discussion. The first article discusses about the biosimilars drugs. The next article discusses about transgender role in sports. Third article discusses about fungi and beetle, being an invasive species in the rubber plantations in Kerala. The next article discusses about the importance of dementia and their types of dementia. And the last article discusses about kidney transplant and their prevalent implications around in the health system. So in light of these articles, let us see the discussion one by one. Now look into the news article here. Eliminating unnecessary animal studies, establish clear conditions for comparative clinical trials, says healthcare advocates. So here the 2025 draft guidelines on similar biologics offer a great opportunity to advance India's healthcare system and its members of the working group for the access to medicines and treatments, the network said. On light of this article, let us see the basics about the controlling authority first, for especially when it comes to India's healthcare and its drug facilities. First is the CDSCO, that is Central Drug Standard Control Organization. So here the nodal ministry, they come under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and it is headed by Drugs Controller General of India, that is DCGI. So the key functions is approving new drugs and clinical trials, set standards for drugs and medical devices. So here the clinical trial which we have seen our previous slide will come under these two authorities, the nodal ministry as well as the head. So here the key functions also, it includes regulates imported drug and quality, coordinates with state regulators, and authorizes biologicals, blood products and vaccines. Now what is biosimilars? So what the article talks about called similar biologics. So here the definition is biologics medicines are highly similar to approved reference product but not identical in nature. So it is very similar to not similar but somewhat similar but not the same with generic medicines. So it is made from living organisms using biotechnology and not organisms. So here the key feature is similar safety, efficiency and quality to the original, more complex than chemical generics. So for example, insulin, antibiotics, growth hormones are one of the example for biosimilars. And it is also lower cost since it has living organism. It is affordable treatment, better access for diseases like cancer, diabetes, autoimmune disorders. So these are the basics we need to learn from this article. So I hope the article is clear. Let's see a prelims practice question. What is the main benefit of biosimilars in healthcare? So here we should find the most appropriate answer, that is they reduce the cost of treatment for complex diseases. So these answers are not that convincing. They are easier to manufacture than generics. They replace allopathic medicines, no, so it is very direct and extreme. Next, they are faster acting than original biologics. So we can see option C convinces to be the right answer. They reduce the cost of treatment for complex disease especially. Now moving on to the news, here US Olympic and Paralympic officials bar transgender women from competing in Olympic women's sport. So here why it is in the news, the US Olympic and Paralympic Committee have implemented a policy to barring the transgender women from participating in women's sports, and which was an order by US President Donald Trump, titled Keeping Men Out of Women's Sport. So this is one of the most insensitive sentences that we can adhere to. So here the executive order threatens to cut federal fundings to organizations that allow transgender women in women's sports, sparkling global debates on inclusion and fairness in competitive sports. So this raises questions about how the other countries like India treat transgenders and their rights equal to it, particularly in areas like sports, law and having equality. So looking into the constitutional legal provisions for transgenders in India, these are the constitutional protections. Article 14, which is right to equality before law and equal protection of law of any person, includes transgenders. Article 15 to 16 prohibits discrimination on basis of sex, interpreted by courts to include gender identity. Article 19 clause 1 clause A, freedom of speech and expression, includes the right to express one's gender identity. And Article 21, which we know, right to life and personal liberty, includes dignity and autonomy of transgender person. Now, what are the key judgments? First is the NALSA versus Union of India, that we all know, National Legal Service Authority, recognized transgenders as third gender, upheld their fundamental rights under Article 14, 15, 16, 19 and 21. So, looking into the legal framework, they come under Transgender Person Protection of Rights Act of 2019. So it prohibits discrimination in fields like education, employment, healthcare, access to public courts, etc. Provide right to self-perceived gender identity, mandates a certificate of identity which is issued by district magistrate, establishes welfare schemes and grievance redressal mechanisms. So recently we all know in the Ethiraj College of Tamil Nadu, India in Chennai, admitted their first transgender student. So we all know how progressively we are finding the equal rights for transgenders in society. Next, transgenders in sport in India. So there is no exclusive law for transgenders inclusion in sports, but transgenders are allowed to participate based on their self-identified gender under the constitutional provisions as well as the NALSA protection. Notable developments is in 2020, Karnataka hosted India's first ever transgender sports meet. Kerala and Tamil Nadu have taken steps to encourage transgender participation through state-run sports events. National Education Policy of 2020 emphasizes inclusive sports participation for all genders. The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports have advised federations to inclusive, though no centralized sports policy exists yet. So I hope the article is clear. We have seen basic understanding about transgender right in India specifically. So looking into prelims practice question, which of the following provisions safeguarded the rights of transgender person in India? And the option is option A, 1, 2 and 3 and not option 4. Now moving on to the next news here, a beetle fungi combo which stands as a threat to the plantations in rubber capital in Kerala. So in light of this article, let us see the context first. It's a destructive mutualistic relationship. So we all know what kind on environmental basis, we all know what is mutualistic relationship between organisms. So it is a destructive mutualistic relationship which has been identified between Ambrosia beetle, this is the scientific name, and the fungi. So this association is causing several damage to rubber plantations in Kerala with implications for the other of broadleaf crops also. So what are the details? Let us see the basics about Ambrosia beetle. So looking into its native, it is part of Central and South America and it is an invasive species in India. So first it was reported in Goa in 2012 on cashew trees. So the mode of attack is boring in tunnels called galleries in the tree bark and introduces symbiotic fungi to farm and to feed on. So having destructive mutualistic relationship. So here the type is, it's a wood boring beetle, wood eating beetle, and for some species are highly invasive. And looking into the host range, there are approximately 80 species including rubber, tea, coffee, coconut, mango and cashew which are in threat of this beetle species and they are their host for this beetle. And what are the fungal partners? So these Fusarium ambrosia and Fusarium solani. So these are their fungal partners and through which they are destructive for the crops. Fusarium ambrosia, previously known as fungal partner, and Fusarium solani, first time reported in this mutualism with Ambrosia beetle. So here their nature is opportunistic pathogens. So they are in mutual relationship on being opportunistic about the host as well as being destructive to the species, to the crop that they are invasive for. So here it affects both plants and immunocompromised humans. So make sure this is an important point. It's not just for plants but also for humans who have less immunity power. So the infection mechanism is through blocking the vessel cells of the plant, xylem vessels in plant and reduce their nutrient flow. And it brings in secretion of enzymes. So it weakens the wood. So that's why they are known as wood borers. So it weakens the wood and that leads to leaf fall, drying and latex loss, which leads to the loss of the plant. And the challenge is this systematic infection makes it hard for fungicides and insecticides to even act on as pest control. So looking into the ecological and agricultural impact, so the significant latex yield has been reducted, threatens the economic trees present around in Kerala and especially India's rubber capital. So it raises biosecurity concerns. So that is fungal beetle duo can expand to other crops easily as well as regions. As we have know, both of them are very invasive in nature. So, having basics on rubber cultivation in India, it is India's global rank is placed on sixth in production and second in productivity. And for Kerala, 90% of India's natural rubber is produced in Kerala. So, we all know how important the latex is. So, next is 72% of India's rubber cultivation area is Kerala. And looking into the rubber tree, it is native to the Amazon rainforest. It was introduced to India through British colonial networks. Now looking into fungal pathogens, the Fusarium species, they are soil-borne and vector-borne through insects, and so these are the examples. So here they threaten the food crops and plantation crops globally. And looking into the control measures, first is to use antagonistic fungi or microbial consortia inside the plant system, as insecticides are not much in effect. Next is destroying the infected parts, that is chipping or burning. Next is having ethanol traps for the beetle, as the ethanol attracts beetle. Next is geographically sensitive management strategies, like what works globally, especially for South India. So we all know how, especially Kerala, one of the biodiversity hotspots of the world globally, there needs to be even more considerable and sensitive, inclusive and sustainable community management and practices. Next is a discussion on genetically modified rubber plants. So these are the details about the article. This is the prelims practice question. Consider the following statements. Ambrosia beetles are known to attack only dead trees and never attack healthy and stressed trees. Fusarium, a fungal pathogen affecting rubber trees, can also act as an opportunistic pathogen in humans. So we all know it is only option B is right. Now moving on to the news. Here title, not all cognitive decline in dementia and not all dementia is Alzheimer's stress. Clinicians this brain awareness month. So here an article highlights that dementia isn't limited to only Alzheimer's. So there are different types of there are different types of dementia, such as lesser known types like vascular, and different types that we'll be seeing in this slide are all mixed, which deserve the attention that not only dementia is particularly getting. So early diagnosis can improve care outcomes, especially during brain awareness month. Now let us see the basics for dementia. It is a syndrome which is marked by decline in our thinking memory or thinking power or memory power, thinking, and as well as behavior and daily functioning due to brain damage. So dementia is mainly related to brain functioning. So it is not a single disease, so it has different types. So these are the types. First is the Alzheimer types. So here the news is not just Alzheimer disease, which is part of dementia, is one of the important disease to be concerned. There are all these types of dementia diseases which need to be having its focus. So here Alzheimer's is built on certain plaques and in the brain, so it leads to fading of our memory. Next type is vascular dementia, which is reduced blood flow to the brain, so it can lead to stroke, hypertension and diabetes. Next is frontotemporal dementia. So here it damage to the brain in the frontal and temporal lobes, which is often genetic in nature. Next is Lewy body dementia, which is an abnormal protein. This is the protein which deposits called Lewy bodies in the brain. Next is Jacob disease, where it is misfolded proteins causing rapid brain degeneration. And next is mixed dementia, which is a combination of two or more types, most often Alzheimer and vascular dementia. So here for example, you can take Kuru, which is a dementia disease which is caused by eating of the brain parts, especially in areas like Tasmania and so on, due to practicing of cannibalism. Now what are the key symptoms? First is memory loss, confusion, language issues, personality changing, visual hallucinations, and sudden decline in the vascular dementia. So here for treatment it has no cure, but symptoms can be manageable, and these are the medications for the disease. And the lifestyle is morely adhered to BP, sugar control, and cognitive therapy. So therapies can be all physical, occupational, as well as counseling. So India's focus is mainly on vascular dementia, which is high due to lifestyle disease, and early detection and prevention can help for better outcomes. So I hope the article is clear. This is the prelims practice question. What are the different types, with reference to different types of dementia? Consider the statement. Vascular dementia is caused by reduced blood supply to brain and is often preventable. Frontotemporal dementia primarily affects memory in early stages. Lewy body dementia associated with hallucinations and sensitivity to certain medications. And Alzheimer's disease is the least common form of dementia globally. Which of the following are correct? So obviously we all know option 4 cannot be right. So here we can already use the elimination, and we all know that second is also not right. So the option is option B, 1 and 3 only. So moving on to the next news, with the wait list for kidney transplants remaining high in Tamil Nadu, doctors slot prevention as top priority. So here, why it is in the news, Tamil Nadu has over 7,400 patients on active kidney transplant wait list. So the chronic kidney disease, that is the CKD burden rising due to diabetes, hypertension, and other lifestyle disorders. So here organ availability are far below demand. So prevention and early detection are very crucial for this crisis. So here what is KCD? So it is a long-term progressive loss of kidney functioning, which is lasting for 3 months in the stopping of functioning of kidney. So here it is marked by glomerular filtration rate. So it is a global standard filtration rate of kidneys. So it is either marked by this filtration rate, which should be above 60 million per minute, or 1.73 square meter. So, or kidney damage, which can be proteinuria or structural. So these are the two criteria to mark the chronic kidney disease. So it leads to toxic accumulation, may progress silently to end stage renal disease. So basically stopping the functioning of the kidney on the whole level, and needing dialysis or transplant. So why does the CKD occur? So here because of slow kidney damage over time caused by high sugar, high BP, toxins, infections, and other genetic factors, and linked to lifestyle disorders as well as for aging. So what are the major causes of CKD? First is metabolic, diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and sedentary life. Next is environmental and due to drugs consumption, and heavy such as heavy metal, pesticides, and nephrotoxic drugs. Next others is polycystic kidney diseases, which are types of diseases, and infections, stones, especially for people of old age and senior age. So what are the symptoms of CKD? For fatigue, weakness, swelling, nausea, and loss of appetite is included. Reduced urine output, foamy urine or breathlessness, and itchy skin, cramps, uncontrolled BP, anemia, and bone pain. So what are the treatments options? So looking into lifestyle and medical, first is controlling the sugar, BP, diet changes, avoiding the nephrotoxic drugs. Next is to manage complications such as anemia and bone diseases. Next is renal replacement therapy, where it leads to certain dialysis treatment and transplantation for replacing of kidney for their functioning. So these are few government initiatives related. First is the TOTA Act of 1994 and amended in 2011. It regulates organ donation, promote cadaveric donation, and NOTO, which is National Organ Coordination Body. It's called Transcend in Tamil Nadu. Next is by NPCDSC, where it manages diabetes and hypertension and screens the causes and diseases. Next is Pradhan Mantri National Dialysis Program, free dialysis at district hospitals. And next is Transplant in Tamil Nadu, called awareness drives, where doorstep drug delivery for the non-communicable diseases. So I hope the article is clear. We have seen the basics about the CKD. Now moving to a prelims practice question. Which of the following are major causes of CKD? And the option is every statement: diabetes, hypertension, obesity, overuse of nephrotic drugs. So it is option D. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you like the video. Don't forget to give a like, comment, and share. And to further not to miss any other content, subscribe to our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.